All right, so part of the trade with the Jags, the rest of the owners, right? They all came together and they said that they have to trade away the second pick, allowing the Jags to pick Travis Hunter. And then the secret part of the deal is the Browns get the right to draft Shedeur whenever they want, saving money after the Watson deal.
Boom.
Yo, I know the conspiracies be conspiracying, but that's what happened, man.
Why didn't they wait to the 7th round?
Yeah. At the end of the day,
because they did it in the 5th round. They did it in the 5th round because they did it in the 5th round because Trump said these niggas is dumb and they need to draft them now. And then Trump was going, investigate the whole shit.
So what people don't understand too is like it's funny. We was just talking about Brock Purdy, and he's a perfect example of a guy that's like not the greatest athlete. He doesn't have the highest skill set, but guess what? He's willing to listen, learn the playbook, and fit into an offense, and just basically do what he has
I hear
to
you, my
do
nigga, but that shit don't work in the NFL, not as a quarterback. Fitting in don't work as a quarterback, bro. Fitting in don't work for a quarterback, bro.
That's what you don't understand.
Fitting in is like a fitting in is like a guard, a tackle. The quarterback don't fit in, bro.
They almost won the chip with a quarterback that was just fitting in, bro.
You also have to break down that Shedeur ain't like some generational physical talent either, bro.
That's what I mean. He has no like relatively speaking, he doesn't really have an arm.
All right, bro.
I think Mac Jones had more rushing yards than him in his senior year.
He's not an athlete on the ground.
But how does nigga say
crazy scrambler? He's not. People keep saying Lamar Jackson got drafted. Those dudes was better than this dude. Like when in college, so it doesn't even matter. Like you already knew Lamar Jackson had these physical attributes that no matter what, he was gonna play something in football and he was gonna be good at it. So you know what I mean? Like Shedeur's not that.
Yeah,
go watch the tapes.
Watching it right here.
With the 144th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select
Play the tapes.
Shedeur Sanders.
Give me all the highlights that are not cool for Travis Hunter.
Listen to the reaction.
How many of those he got?
Yo, man. Shout out my nigga getting drafted, bro.
So shout out to him for getting drafted, but we're not gonna sit here and act like
Shiloh.
So another thing I seen was that the Colorado had the most fucking wide receivers picked in the whole draft.
What?
Colorado had the most wide receivers picked in their entire draft.
The state of Colorado or Colorado State?
G.
No, Colorado.
Bro, we're having a conversation about Shedeur. But who threw them the ball?
That's not a real stat.
It is. That is a real stat.
Because there was no other teams that had the only other team that had multiple was Iowa State. Everybody had two. Nobody.
But what about the marketing value that this nigga Shedeur brings, bro? He's already number 3 top sold jersey. He's already pinned on the NFL. NFL got him pinned.
Why you don't want a backup quarterback like this, bro? Like this is how the NFL works. You don't want your backup.
It's gonna force him to the front no matter what you have going on.
So NFL don't work out for money. So now NFL don't work out for money.
Are we talking about money? Or we talking about talent here? What are we talking about? Money or talent? Which one?
It's whatever.
Tomato. If you ain't got no talent, you ain't making no money. Like. What we talking about here?
He was making more in college than he's about to make in the NFL, bro.
What you mean, bro? What are you talking about, bro? Like, what are we talking about? Don't talk about the bag man.
Don't do that. It's a new NFL.
Don't talk about the bag man himself. Don't talk about the bag man himself. Don't do that. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
We can't do this shit.
Yo, I know what NFL. They already know one little case of CTE and he's straight AB. So they just like, you know what? We ain't even gonna do it.
All right,
come on, man.
This is a great comparison right here, bro. So you're telling me, all three of y'all. I just want to hear y'all. You're telling me, Shedeur's not better than any of these niggas right here. Like he couldn't have got picked by the Saints.
He's probably better.
He's probably better than
all of them except
y'all know football. I don't.
The only comparison is one guy though. It's the guy who got picked.
Yeah.
So who got picked? Which one?
Tyler Stowe, whatever. Tyler Stowe.
Shuck got picked. He got picked. I don't think he's better than Shedeur.
and he was the one that threw the ball in the dirt in the combine.
Go ahead, throw that video up.
I don't have the video, but I remember we played it last week on the pod. No, we played it last week on the pod anyways. I'm just saying the nigga threw the ball in the dirt, and that's the nigga that goes before him. Come on, bro. The conspiracy is conspiracy.
Show some of Shedeur's combine real quick.
He wasn't at the combine. He's rich.
Exactly.
So now we're unraveling some things.
What you unraveling? You unraveling that? You unraveling a nigga that already proved himself.
Hold on.
He's not too good to go to combine, bro.
Why didn't he go to combine then?
Why did he go to the combine? Why does he need to go? He just go ahead, Jules.
Because he's like every other player. He needs to go.
He obviously needed to go.
Nigga skips combine every year. Carl, how are you related to this nigga, bro?
Carl, please.
He threw at the pro day. Thank you. Oh my
niggas
goodness.
Like who? Yo, Carl. Niggas like who? I want to see names. Are they Shedeur Sanders? Are they people with mediocre talent?
No.
Mediocre talent is crazy.
Jamar Chase skipped combine. So we're gonna compare Jamar Chase to Shedeur Sanders. That's what we doing now?
Can't do that.
Jamar Chase is arguably the best wide receiver in college history, bro.
Like that's what we're doing. Malik Nabers. That's what we're doing. Malik Nabers. Like we naming guys that everybody knew were gonna be studs. We're naming guys that everybody knew were gonna be studs. There was no question.
See, now you want to bring it here. Now this is what you want to bring it to.
What I want, it's cool when they do it. It's cool when Eli do it. It's cool.
We're talking about one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yo, bro, legendary, man. Yo. Just know them that niggas legendary, man. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Just remember.
Just don't throw a shot at the dude who showed up to the combine and met with all the teams and did all the shit when the other dude was.
The whole point of that post was niggas was talking shit about Dion, saying Dion was saying he didn't want his son to go to certain places, but. Archie Manning, which is Eli and Peyton's father, did the same shit when it was their time to get drafted. But we ain't gonna talk about it. I got the blenders on for a reason.
Job interview, if you don't show up for the job interview, how are you supposed to get the job, bro?
What you mean if you don't show up for the job interview? Who said he didn't show up to the interview? Who said he didn't show up to the interview? He showed up to every interview.
He walked halfway. He walked out of one halfway through.
No, we didn't.
Niggas don't talk.
No, we didn't.
You don't think niggas don't talk?
That's a rumor that was spreaded. That didn't happen.
On, if it's on the pod, it ain't a rumor, dog.
It's a rumor. Who said it? Where's the facts at? That he walked out.
Alternative facts.
Listen. Just listen. I have all the stories, bro. If you want to hear the stories. So this is one of the things, like an exact specific example of one of the things that they didn't like. They try to, when they go into these things, they try to show the quarterbacks like certain plays where they'll try to, they want to see how they think. Like they want to break it all down, like to see like how they think on the fly. Like they'll tell them, like, I don't know if you ever seen John Gruden do the Gruden
quarterback quotes. Yeah, I seen it.
So they said one of the things that Shedeur did was that sometimes they'll show bad plays to the players. They'll pull up like their worst plays and they'll be like, watch this play. And it'll be like a horrible read or something, and then they see like what happened here, and the player will be like, so they said they did that to Shedeur. And he was like absolutely not having it in one of the interviews. Like he was like I don't want to see this. Like, and they're like, yo, we just like want to know like what you saw in the play. And then they said they were specifically putting things into the tape, like errors into the tape to see if he was paying enough attention to realize like or to answer the questions. And he just was like, and then they said he was like playing music through his headphones. Like he had his headphones on his neck, like playing music out loud at one of the interviews. Like the interviews, there's not like, it's not a conspiracy. This isn't a generational talent guy. This is a good player who should have got drafted higher than he was. If he showed up to these interviews and took the shit serious, he would have went in the first or second round. But if you show up to these things and you act like these guys don't, this isn't like a boys club owner thing where the fucking 32 teams like talk about this shit, it has an impact. Like there's reason. So every other player, so we can even talk about this when we get into the Patriots draft. Like there's players that we drafted that went 100 slots below where they should have went, and there's certain reasons for it. You have like off-field stuff. You have interview stuff. Like, but for some reason, this one guy, it just can't. Like, none of this stuff can happen because everybody fucks with him. If nobody cared about him, then we wouldn't even hear the story at all. Like if Quinn Ewers,
but
drop the fucking bomb on him, Rex.
No, that was fire.
Drop the fucking
that was
bomb
fire.
on him,
That was cute. I like it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm gonna give you the opposite side. I'm gonna give you the opposite side of that. No. Yo, G, sit this one out. Sit this one out, G.
One more thing. Quinn Ewers was projected to be like a top 7 pick, bro, coming into the season, right? Quinn Ewers. He got offered a $7 million NIL to come back to college, right? He had some injuries, but he has enough. He has way more like competitive tape than Shedeur Sanders. Like as far as like he's played
who's
for Texas.
Again? Say this again.
Quinn Ewers. He was coming into this year. He was projected to be like the 7th pick. He went in the 7th round, bro. He turned down $7 million off the NIL to go to a different school to transfer out because it was the Arch Manning's era beginning in Texas. So he turned out $7 million. He got drafted in the 7th round, bro. He was supposed to be a first-round pick, and he got drafted in the 7th round.
Why?
His situation just played out more in the actual season itself. But that's a guy who like was expecting. He obviously, if he knew he was going to be a 7th round pick, he could go back. He'd probably go back, take the 7 M's, go to school, and then come back next year and be a first-round pick. But he didn't do that. But like, it's just like nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about any other player who dropped below their ADP. You could say like whatever you thought they was going to be, like to throw a fantasy tournament.
But okay. So we had a conversation. Okay, so we was talking about this. We've been talking about this fucking draft for like since the pod started, right? And you know, G, Brownie, a couple people said he's going to fall at the first round. Okay, cool. I'm fine with that. But 5th? Right. What you just said to me was a great take, but doesn't explain why he didn't go in the 2nd or 3rd. Or 2nd, honestly.
Yo, Lopes, how does that not explain it if he just explained it?
Because it doesn't. It explains why you wouldn't grab him in the 1st round and why you wouldn't waste the first round draft pick. But at the end of the day, this is business. This is like trying to win a football game. Like you're gonna put that to the side.
Just a question. Do you think by chance that the NFL communicates with each other and then someone's like, "Yeah, we're not grabbing him." And
of course they do. That's the whole point of the conspiracy part of it. And it's saying that they talk about it, and then they drag his name through the mud and put out false stories.
Yeah, but
it's false stories.
They don't need to do that, though. They don't need to do that. But if they know, if a team knows that he's gonna be there, why would they waste a pick? They're like, oh, we know that these guys aren't gonna take him right now. We can wait. Why would we reach for him if we know? Because the league talks,
and that's what I'm trying to say. They're not going to reach. So not the
conspiracy
first,
or not.
40,
conspiracy or not.
So the NFL. So this is the question. This is the question. This is the question.
Like we don't like
this is the question. So the NFL.
We want to know why you don't like him.
So
we wouldn't like that either.
So I want all 3 of you guys to just answer this question. Was the NFL out to get Shedeur Sanders? Yes or no?
No.
If they were out to get him, they would have got him in the 1st round, right?
This nigga. Now this nigga's party.
Nah.
So no,
I agree with the chat that it had to do with
you gotta take accountability, bro. Nobody takes accountability, man. That's the problem.
Jules, what about you?
But it was Dion too, though.
Jules hasn't said anything about this topic.
Dion said a lot about it too.
I've said what I had to say. I feel they just gave that boy a message, bro. Like, stay humble.
All right. What about you, G?
I think.
What about you, G?
Dion, what he said too, though. Dion, what did Dion say about the whole shit? Like before,
Dion just said he didn't want him to go to certain teams.
He said a lot, bro. He said a ton of shit. He was replying to people on Twitter talking about, yo, my kid's gonna be drafted top 5. When your kid gonna be drafted?
Another thing, I just thought of this right now. Do you remember when I was telling y'all about like how when we were doing these pods, Shedeur was like a couple of them. Shedeur was mocked to go to the Giants. There was no question about it.
Yes.
And then we were talking about Abdul or Travis. That's what we were talking about.
Yes.
Like who's gonna fall? Is it gonna be Abdul or Travis? And then everything changed. And part of the reason why I was saying it was like, is Shedeur did that interview with Gilly, bro, and he basically. So imagine this. So imagine the Giants not only don't pick Shedeur in the 1st pick, Then when it's their turn to pick a quarterback, they take the other fucking quarterback, the Jackson Dart. You don't think that him going on that interview and talking about like how I'm gonna be on the Giants, basically saying to Gilly that he's gonna be on the Giants. You don't think they see that shit and be like, the fuck is this dude talking about? Like he ain't gonna be like.
All right, we're gonna end up Shedeur